Good afternoon, everyone. I'd just like to first thank Beiju and the Council for hosting this event. I think it was a long time coming and is something that we've needed to talk about for a number of years. But I'm Shaheela. I was born and raised in Cambridge. My father came from East Pakistan in 1957 and he settled here, and my siblings and I were born here. And I'm also a local author, and I wrote about Lascars. So my first historical novel was published in 2012 called Lascar. And it's something that we've not talked about today at all, and I think I should tell you about who these men were. They were Asian seamen who arrived in England over 350 years ago, but the majority came around about the time of 1860s. So when the First World War broke out, the Great War, many were abandoned here. So they worked on steamships to ferry back cargo from India, such as coffee, tea, porcelain, sugar, and many decided to jump ship when they arrived here because they were treated very badly on these ships and they wanted to escape. Now, they had no means to go home, and when the war broke out, they were abandoned, and they had no choice but to contribute to the war effort. So many ended up fighting with the British, and there were stories of true bravery and courage. There's just one story I'd like to tell you about, where around about 1960, there was a ship that they were on, and it was torpedoed by the Germans. And there was about 50 Lascar seamen in the base of that ship, and half the ship was destroyed, and it was sinking, and all they were doing was just sitting there, waiting for orders by the ship's captain, whether to jump ship, whether to escape, but the captain was dead. And this really showed their true bravery, and they were waiting for instructions. They were truly loyal to their masters. And I think we need to also remember that these men contributed to the war effort, and they faced racism, but they were fighting for a country that didn't really embrace them. But they were true to their word, and they were courageous, and they gave everything, their whole life, just to be able to, so they could, fight with the army, and also be part of the British Army. So I think that's just a small story I wanted to tell you about, but we are remembering all soldiers from India, Africa, the Middle East, and their bravery, and it's something that we should remember year on year. So again, thank you, Beiju. We hope that you continue to hold these events every year so we can tell these stories. Thank you.